on the tragedy that occurred last night at Fairmount Park near Lemon Hill Mansion. You're going to hear from Police Commissioner Bethel. You're going to hear from our Public Safety Director, Adam Gear. Shortly after 10:30 last night, shooting took place in Fairmount Park. 11 people were ultimately injured by gunfire. 2 people, a young man, 21, and a young woman, 23, ultimately perished from their injuries. 9 others were wounded, and all have been treated and are in stable conditions at area hospitals. And 3 of those injured by gunfire are juveniles, and they remain in stable condition. But let me be absolutely clear today. As your mayor, I want to affirm to all of Philadelphia on today that there are no excuses for this. This is a heinous act of violence that was inhumane. No regard for life. We will, in this city of Philadelphia, be unapologetic about making sure that the public health and safety of our city and the people in our city is our #1 priority. When you hear me say no excuses, I don't want anyone to tell me that what occurred in a place and space where families gather on a regular basis to fellowship, people in neighborhoods gather. We will not be held hostage by anyone who decides that they want to get assault-like, war-like weaponry, guns with switches. I hear the law enforcement officials, our police department, they're listening to video and they're listening to the shots being fired, and it's clear, you know, that it's not a handgun. We talk a lot about controlling the flow of illegal handguns, you know, across the nation, in the Commonwealth, and in our city. But this was wartime ammunition that was just opened on Philadelphians and those who are here in our city. I want you to know that I am unapologetic about publicly affirming that we will work with every federal and state partner that is necessary to ensure that those who are responsible are held accountable for their actions. I want to say to the Philadelphia Police Department, to the park rangers, thank you for doing your job to the best of your ability. But here, on today, there are no excuses for this. I want to walk through this for the benefit of someone, somewhere, somehow, attempting to find some words to explain away the cause for something like this. There are no words that you can employ to explain this. This is not normal, and we won't normalize the behavior here in our city. I want to talk about these guns for a second. The Philadelphia Police Department recovered 5,000 crime guns last year, 5,474 to be exact. They made over 2,000 arrests for firearms violations last year, 2,327 firearms arrests to be exact. How easy is it to get a gun illegally and or otherwise in our city? We know that they come in every way imaginable, but we as a city, and now I'm not talking about as a mayor, I'm talking about as a resident on a block. I'm talking about not just as a mother being concerned about my own child. I'm talking about mothers and fathers being concerned about young people who you know are living in circumstances that affirms for us that life for them is not a crystal stair. We have to look after each other. We have to find a way to not just make sure that we're taking care of our own, but we are all a part of a village. It's the greatest gift that you could ever ask for a person. When I was running for mayor, I'll never forget an interview. They said, Mayor, if there's one thing you could give the people of the city of Philadelphia, what would it be? him I would give people the same thing that saved my life. I would give them a connection, a connectedness to something that's bigger than them as an individual. We are doing it now in every way imaginable. 25, where's Adam Gear? $25 million in anti-violence funding, Councilmember Jones and Councilmember Young. Nearly 8,000 summer jobs being filled by young people through our Career Connected Learning Program. Extended day and extended year. Over 7,000 young people getting before and after school programming. And no additional cost. We're proposing to increase that number now. 400 lifeguard positions to fill. Pool maintenance attendant positions, another 400 pool maintenance attendants to fill. 191 recreation centers, 71 swimming pools, over 1,400 athletic fields and courts, more than 110 summer day camps, and over 1,000 staff-led programs, including sports, creative arts, and educational activities. Mental and behavioral health is here for those who have experienced or been impacted by violence and have been traumatized as a result of it. For parents, for caregivers, for people who see and know that a young person is engaged in some kind of activity that they shouldn't be, and or it doesn't have to be a young person, because remember, these were young adults and young people who were impacted. We have a number you can call called 211. We have evening resource centers in neighborhoods. There is no one who can tell me that this city of Philadelphia is not doing what we should do and moving the needle on anti-violence efforts when we have a comprehensive strategy. We don't just think that Police Commissioner Bethel, and I don't care how good he and his officers are, we can't police our way out of this. The park rangers can't do this alone. Our approach is comprehensive. It's prevention, it's intervention, and enforcement. But guess what? I will not apologize for calling on our federal partners and our state partners to work with the city of Philadelphia to ensure that those who are responsible for this are held accountable, and for us to do any and everything that we can to make our public health and safety our #1 priority. I was thinking about a time that I felt good. And man, I was so proud after the Eagles parade. I saw the pictures. If you didn't see an aerial view of it, you don't really know the magnitude of what we had just experienced. But to see all of those people from across the nation in our city celebrating without any challenges as it related to serious violent acts. Philadelphia, we're going to continue moving with prevention, intervention, and enforcement. Parents, caregivers, we know this is not an easy job. I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather. I know it's tough. We have to know where our young people are. And for those who don't have young people who are in their homes as their children, or they're not raising them, I'm thinking about the young men and women. They were adults to us, but now I know that they were young adults when they were actually doing this. They founded and organized and ran the Little League I was a part of, the Oak Lane Youth Association. We need a collective, holistic approach to address this issue. And if there's anybody who's going to stand up anywhere in this nation, in this Commonwealth, or in this city and tell you that if the city of Philadelphia would do just this one thing, all of this would be over, they don't know the level of complexity of this challenge. I'm looking at the work we're doing right now. We're tackling housing. CCME, Clancy's back there, workforce development, putting people on a path to self-sufficiency. Someone just sent me, another mayor from another city across the nation, sent me a copy of an article from something called The Economist, a journal called The Economist, saying, look at Philadelphia leading the pack in the nation in a reduction in homicides and violence here in our city. We're not going back to those old stats. We're not going back to those old stats. That means we need all hands on deck. That means everybody has a role. That means, yes, parents, need to know where their children are and what they are doing. Yes, that's extremely important. But for those young people who don't come from a perfect nuclear family, and they need some help, and they need to be connected to something that's more powerful than they are, so that they can belong to something affirmative that is essential, but we will make sure that we do it together. I'm telling you, I don't know how long I've been here. That's a little over a year, maybe a year and a half by now. This thing does not get easier. Does not get easier to have to stand before you when something like this occurs in our city, because you can't explain it away. I'll tell you one thing, the people standing here with me, as your mayor, I am never going to tire from going to war against the status quo, going to war against lawlessness, and doing any and everything that we have to do to make Philadelphia safer. We're doing it: safe, clean, green, economic opportunity for all, the housing, you name it. These people up here are the ones that are working to implement so many programs and supports and opportunities for you. We can't forget that one part of the equation, because we're going to talk to somebody somewhere somehow who will say to you that, we should have been able to do something. Yeah, when the park rangers saw that folks were gathering and the convergence, I just want you to think about this. When I say we're not going to be held hostage,